Don't pay back your credit card. Who cares, man? Who gonna stop you?
I'm not willing to do anything to get out of debt.
So, here's why I am not paying back any debt I owe.
So today we're going to be taking a look at people who refuse to pay off their debt and the consequences that come with making that choice. Whether it's credit card debt, student loans, medical debt, even income taxes, this one's definitely going to be an interesting video. We have a lot to go over today along with comments from you guys from previous videos. So if you want to be featured on a future video, leave in the comments down below. But let's just jump right into it.
When I got laid off, I stopped paying my credit card debt. I said, if you want to get your money, sue me. Well, there's a company suing me right now, but they probably bought the debt in batch. So I was looking into ways on how I could respond to the summons asking them to verify the debt. And there was 2 forms that I could fill out. Well, my husband comes home and he says, why don't you just have a lawyer do it? We pay for the services. So I'm like, oh yeah, good idea. I get the call from the lawyer today and he's talking about making a payment plan with these people. I said, okay, why would I do that? Well, I told him my theory is they send out all of these summons just before Christmas because 70% of the time people do not respond to them and their wages end up getting garnished. And the reason I know this is because it's happened to me before and I remember it happening just before Christmas and I forgot about it. And this time I didn't want to forget about it. So I explained to him what I wanted to do and he says, I've been in the business for 22 years and they'll be able to verify it. You're just kicking the can down the road. I said, I don't care.
Okay, so there is a plethora of bad decisions in this clip, but we'll go back to the beginning. Initially, she said that she got into a whole bunch of credit card debt because she got laid off. However, later in the video, you find out this is the second time she's in this situation. Now it sounds more like reckless spending and you just don't want to pay any of your debts. And then on top of it, you think the lawyer who's been doing this for literally decades doesn't know what he's talking about? They're just trying to go down the least painful road with the payment plans instead of still getting your wages garnished, or much worse. We go over to the comments. All I'm hearing is, yes, I owe the money, but I don't care and won't pay it. The creator responds, yes, that's exactly what I said. Thank you for listening to the video. Well, I wouldn't doubt that the videos she make would be used as evidence in court as well. Yet again, great decision there. Another comment here I found interesting, lien and garnishment for credit card debt. Never heard of that. I guess there's a lot more people who don't know this could happen. In an older video, we talked about many people getting sued for their credit card debt, them having no idea that this even existed. I guess they thought maybe they'd take a credit hit and it would go to debt collectors and eventually just vanish. But more and more people are getting taken to court for this every single day.
I never once paid a dime of my student loans, and I am more than fine. This country tries to control us with fear and fear of debt. Treat it like it doesn't exist. I'm telling you right now, do not pay. What can they do? Okay, so after you graduate from your university, like 6 months to a year later, you start getting all the bills from Sally Mae and you got to get on a payment plan. Do not pay. What can they do? You're going to get letters in the mail, right? And then you're going to start getting phone calls, block them, one more person to block, just hang up. These bills that come in the mail, it's just paper. It's just paper. I promise you, do not pay. I'm going to tell you why. Because I know a lot of you are like, well, then I'm going to have bad credit. Credit for what? Credit for what? For that $1.8 million house you're about to buy? Let's get real. Let's get real, okay? The amount of little bit of hard times that your credit will give you is not worth the 15 to 20 hours a week extra you are going to have to work to pay off the student debt. It is not worth your life. Do not pay.
Okay, so before I say anything about it, we'll go over to the comments. Tell this to my friend who has $850 garnished out of her wages every month. My friend didn't pay, they wiped out his savings account. They'll garnish your Social Security income as well. But we'll go back over to the minimal effects of a credit score, apparently. It's not just the $1.6 million house. We've seen examples of people not getting approved for apartments because they didn't have a good enough credit score. If you live in the United States, you need some form of transportation. You need a vehicle. Whether you're going out and getting a $100,000 Mercedes SUV, or you're at a used car dealership for only a few $1,000s, they're going to run your credit if you have to finance. The majority of people do. So this is going to affect your life a lot more than you think. But yeah, just don't pay it, ignore the letters. What could happen?
No, because I literally will answer the calls and they'll be like, yeah, we're trying to collect payment. Be like, yeah, me too. I'll tell them straight up, like, I'm looking to file bankruptcy. I got no money for you. Well, we can do like $50 a week. You can. I can't. It has to be an agreement. And sure, we can make this arrangement, but every time you go to pull $50 out my debit card, it ain't gonna be there. Because I get paid, I pay my bills, and I'm broke. Like that. Like I get paid tonight, I'll be broke tomorrow morning. Well, do you understand what this will do to your credit? Have you seen my credit? Do you think that I care? And quite honestly, these big corporations literally take the money that you don't pay, like if you get a loan and you don't pay it, at the end of the year, they file it on their taxes and they get money back for lost income or what the fuck ever. So why are you calling me 4 years later, Susan, to try to get money that your company has already gotten money for? Off.
Because they still want the money that's owed to them. Depending on who it is, they'll actually sue you. It happened to me 6 years ago after it almost expired. So that adds on to what she was saying. The caller was from a debt 4 years ago. They're still going to go after you. I had wages garnished for $600 for something that was originally $90. Yet another thing to consider, these companies will sue you for such small amounts of money. Something as ridiculous as $90. We've seen just a couple $100 before in older videos as well. As ridiculous as it sounds, because of how much money these companies make, it will still be a massive problem you have to deal with in your life for years to come as well. We have a comment from you guys right here. I'm beginning to think ignorance is the new pandemic, because by now it's really not surprising to me that there's so many of these relatable posts online. I'm in a tremendous debt, and no, I will not be paying any of it. Just with copyrighted music over like it's a collage of pictures. Here's another one of somebody doing a voiceover, I guess from another clip talking about Klarna and Afterpay.
I'm really sorry, I'm ready to pay for this.
That's, again, I understand that you're sorry. I know you're ready to pay for it now, but you didn't want to pay for it then. So I need you to give me your identification.
Please, I'm requesting you.
I owe Klarna about $1,400. They're not getting that back. Well, just in the past year that they've gained a lot of popularity, these types of debt has started hurting people's credit scores. I wouldn't doubt in the future that they'll start doing the same things as the credit card companies, starting to sue, garnish wages, putting liens on your property if you have them. It's really only a matter of time. Klarna doesn't even let me borrow anymore. They lowered my credit score over $30. Maybe you should have just paid the $30 up front instead of having the 4 or 6 installments, or just not bought it in the first place and saved up. I hit Afterpay, Klarna, Affirm, ZipPay, BreadPay, all of them. They're not seeing a dime. Again, until they start suing people, which I think is inevitable, but let's move on.
If you've been aggressively paying off debt, I need you to pause that real quick. I need you to do this instead. Whatever extra money you've been putting towards your debt, because I need you to continue to pay the minimum payment, I need you to start saving. Whatever extra money you've been putting towards your debt, your credit cards, your personal loans, your car note, I need you to put that money into your savings account. And here's why. The debt ain't going to whistle. You need cash on hand. Okay? And if something was to happen, I would rather you be able to pull the cash from your bank account, from your high yield savings, whatever account you want to put it in, hell, under your mattress, wherever it is, I need you to be able to have access to it versus trying to aggressively get the debt paid down. You've been in debt for this long, girl, it'll be all right. It's gonna work itself out.
However, most of the time, it does not work itself out. It just gets worse. On one hand, I understand what she's saying, needs some sort of emergency fund if anything happens. If you're just taking every dime that isn't used for bills and paying down your debts immediately, if something comes up in life, you'll have absolutely no money and then get into even more debt. However, if you're advocating to just pay the minimum payments when I've seen student loan interest rates be anywhere from 10 to up to 18%, credit cards 20 to 30%, every month that you're apparently saving money under your mattress is just snowballing your debt into an even worse problem.
For the next 3 weeks, I have decided to not contribute a single penny towards my debt repayment, even though I am in £11,500 worth of debt. And the reason is I just cannot afford to. And honestly, I'm drained. I'm drained of the hustle. I think TikTok is showing everyone, and I'm guilty of it too, before you come for me, of like being like, let's hustle, we've got to do all of this stuff to pay off our debt. Like, I'm going to just sit with my debt for the next 3 weeks until payday and not do anything about it. I'm not going to hustle for it. I'm not going to try and pay off more than I need to. I am feeling drained. I'm feeling drained by constantly looking at TikTok and scrolling through all these people who are managing to pay off £150, £600 of it. Like, I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing that because it makes me feel behind.
Okay, so a couple things to say about that. Being as online as we are as a society today makes people compare every aspect of our lives to everyone else we see. So yeah, maybe somebody's paying off their debt way faster while making a series on TikTok or YouTube, but then completely flipping your script and not paying off anything at least for the next 3 weeks could be a slippery slope to falling off the wagon. It's kind of like people who have the goal of losing weight. It's a steady calorie deficit week after week, but say if you took 3 weeks off and you just ate whatever you wanted, in a good amount of cases people give up and then go back to the weight that they were originally. Hopefully that's not what will happen in this situation, but just another example of comparing your lives to others online does not typically end well.
I recently went viral for having $30,000 in credit card debt, and it even got picked up by Newsweek. There was an article featuring my credit card debt. And throughout the comments, a lot of people have been recommending different, financial gurus. And of course, people have been recommending Dave Ramsey. So here is why I do not subscribe to Dave Ramsey's snowball effect and his approach in general. I'm not willing to do anything to get out of debt. I'm not willing to eat rice and beans every day. I'm not willing to have 3 jobs and not spend time with my children. I'm not willing to forego my favorite salad on a Friday when I feel like getting one. My bills and my debt is so tremendous that $20 here, $100 there is not making an impact. The cost of living and low wages is to blame for the financial woes of most Americans. And being told that we can incrementally make these big differences if we just give up our quality of life for 5-10 years is absurd.
Real quick, we'll go over to the comments first. $30,000 in credit card debt is an emergency. The flaw here is that you can't say $100 here and there isn't impactful when you yourself have successfully $100 here and there your way to $30,000 worth of debt. Very good point there. Not pro Dave Ramsey, but rice and beans is a metaphor for eating cheap meals to keep your grocery budget in check. Not actually starving you and your family just to save a couple bucks. And yes, the high cost of living does contribute to a lot of people's struggles right now, but it kind of doesn't sound like it's her struggle. She's not willing to give up anything in her inflated lifestyle. Clearly, you don't have the income to pay for all the things you want, so you get into $30,000 worth of credit card debt. Another comment from you guys here, these are the same people who don't pay their friends back either, especially some of the mentality that I'm just going to swipe my credit card and not pay any of it back whatsoever. Why would they even pay back their own friends? But talking about bankruptcy, we could go over to this clip.
Me and my husband had to file Chapter 7 bankruptcy, and they are taking my car, which was a little alarming at first, but she's fallen apart. So, you know what? Take her. Here's my plea. I need help finding a car. If you know someone who works at a car dealership in Utah that can help me out and that specializes in financing a car loan after bankruptcy, send them my way.
Okay, again, I got a few things to say. First, people think if they do declare bankruptcy, that yes, it'll take several years for your credit to go back to normal, but everything else is going to be fine. They're not going to take your car or any of the other assets that you have. You'll just be fine, and that's not the case clearly here. The second thing is that she said it's completely fine. Take it. It's ratty. It's fallen apart. As I could clearly see the car that she's in, nice leather seats that don't look cracked at all, in good condition, and a nice full-size sunroof. So I don't know. It doesn't look like the car's falling apart to me, but yeah, she's going to go to a dealership and get a absolutely brutal interest rate on the next vehicle she decides to choose, and it wouldn't surprise me that that would be the beginning steps of her getting right back into debt. But we could go back to even more people not taking this seriously at all.
So here's why I am not paying back any debt I owe. Student loans, phone bills, credit cards, any of that yada yada yada, collections. I'm going to teach you some financial responsibility, debt collectors. You shouldn't have given me the money. You shouldn't have given me the phones. You shouldn't have given me the credit cards. This is a lesson for you.
Don't pay back your credit card. Who cares, man? Who gonna stop you? If the government can be in debt, so can I. So can you. Open up 10 credit cards, 50 credit cards, run them up. Keep it going, keep it going. No one's gonna stop us.
This is the one argument that I hear time and time again. The government is in $38 trillion worth of debt, so why can't I be in debt? I'm gonna run up, get 10 credit cards, I guess. And while I think everybody agrees how absurd the debt is and how terrible the government spends the money, normal everyday people are not on the same playing field. They could legitimately just start printing money. You, however, will get everything taken away from you. It may not be fair, but it's just the way the world works. Companies can sue you you and come after anything in your name. I don't recommend this. They could automatically take from your work pay. Also, if you have bad credit, you can't buy a house or the apartment, all the things that we've gone over already. But we have another comment from you guys right here. Don't pay anything back. You don't owe anyone anything, but you literally do. You agreed to that.
Don't pay your credit card off. What if we all collectively decided we're going to max out our credit cards and not pay it off? Like if we got a group of say like 100,000 people to max out their credit cards and then not pay it off, what are they going to do? And say we got more people to do that. All those credit card companies, they're going to go completely bankrupt. What's going to happen to the American dollar? It's not even real. The American dollar does not exist. Like there's not a certain amount of money that we have that's connected to the gold, to how much gold we have. That is completely screwed up. That does not exist anymore. We literally are just making more and more debt. Like, did you know the money that you have in the bank? They don't actually have that money sitting there. It's just a number. They don't actually have everyone's money sitting in the bank. It's literally just a number. Money is just a number. Money is not real.
Okay, so I guess her thought process is that if she doesn't have the dollar bills in her hand, that money doesn't actually exist then. The other thing is the crazy hypothetical, everybody just stop paying off your credit cards. What are they going to do? Is like the same as when people say we should all just stop working one day. What's going to happen? We could just go over to some of the comments. I've been saying this since 2015. Too many NPCs though. I'm in already did it. Great sentence there, buddy. If this is the literacy of the people who want to collectively just not pay any of their credit card debts off, to be able to send the message to these companies or the government, I have a feeling that it's not going to work out in the end.
If my bill went to collections, I would not pay it. Here is why. Once an original creditor sells your personal information, your debt for pennies to a second-party collection company, it is no longer owed by you, and legally you do not have to pay it back. Think about it. You don't have a wet signature with this collection agency. You don't even know who they are. So by default, the collection will get dropped simply because the original creditor didn't even think it was worth it to sue you. So they just sold it off.
I work at a law firm for debt collection, and whatever you just said is not true. Girl, Capital One will still sue you. And I mean, what else could I say? That's just straight up wrong. We've seen so many examples of both credit card companies and those debt collectors being able to sue. Just because your debt was sold does not mean you're absolved.
I mean, this is technically true. You don't have to pay any bill that you get. However, your medical bill doesn't simply go away. It gets bought and shuffled around by debt collectors. Eventually, those collectors can sue you and then garnish your wages or place a lien on your property.
And this goes very well with a comment from you guys. I work in HR. I see so many garnishments on employees, it's unreal. You could be found via your social security number from your employer, your taxes. If you take out a loan and decide not to repay it, you'll be paying one way or another, and your life will be tough. Now we can get into the tax portion of this video, which at least in my own opinion compared to anything else is probably the one that I would mess with the least, because to be honest, the IRS does not play around.
I'm not paying federal taxes because the system's a scam. I see a lot of comments. I've been posting about this a lot, and I see a lot of comments. Well, they're gonna take all your stuff. They're gonna put you in prison. Dude, listen, if they can put you in prison or confiscate your property for not paying taxes, then you never had freedom and you never had property.
I don't think that's the argument here though, but we can talk about that. Nobody does have absolute freedom, and you can make the argument about nobody truly owning property. You could completely pay off your house, but if you stop paying property taxes, you'll still get your house taken away from you. But using that as the argument to not pay your taxes, what are they gonna do? Throw you in jail? Yes, that's exactly what they're gonna do. And it goes with a comment from you guys here, a lesson I learned in the Navy. You could do anything you want as long as you're willing to pay for the consequences, and you could do nothing at all as long as you're willing to pay the consequences. So if that guy's pretty serious about not paying his taxes, I feel like the writing's on the wall. But we could go to a very interesting example here of a rapper that was popular several years ago getting a whole bunch of his stuff taken away by the IRS because he did not pay his taxes.
A bunch of jewelry got auctioned off. Why did it get auctioned off?
2018, I paid $2.1 million to the IRS. 2018.
Right.
2019, I'm sitting in a federal prison. I get a call from my accountant. They say, yo, bro, for 2019, you owe $1.3 million to the IRS. 2020, my biggest year, they wanted $6 million for that year, $5.9 million. As of today, right? So 2020, 21, 22, 23. When my house got raided by the IRS, they said, listen, you already paid $3.4 million. You got to pay another additional $6 million. This is facts. when I went and sat down with the IRS right here in West Palm Beach, the IRS office, I felt like they said, listen, you're in the stage right now. It's the process of liquidation, right? Is that you cut us a $6 million check or start liquidating? Because if you don't liquidate, you start going into like that process of going to jail, right?
For tax evasion.
For tax evasion. It gave me the option, is that a jail or liquidation?
So you chose liquidation.
What would you choose?
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much else I could say about this one. Either they're going to take all of your stuff and liquidate it to try to get their money back, or you'll be going to prison. Either way, not a situation that I'd like to be in whatsoever, but we can move on to the next clip.
You don't understand how you are making the remainder of your life right now. $788.56. There it is. There it is. Late fee because, we make good money. Hey guys, guess what? If I make good money like other people in my position, I should be able to go get a fucking Lexus. You're not paying on the car loan you already have. You're not paying on this credit card that you have here. You're not going to cash flow any part of school, and you're like, I'm going to go borrow $200,000, $300,000 of loans. You think you deserve a Lexus, and you're not paying on a easy, simple minimum monthly payment credit card?
It brings me security to know that I could pay it at any point.
Oh, you. What do you mean? Security is having no bad debt in a fully funded emergency fund. Security.
Okay, so this is a very odd example. It sounds like the kid actually has money to pay off the debt, but he's just leaving it in his bank account instead and letting all of the loans get worse. And he himself has peace of mind because he could pay it off if he wants to. Adding on top of it, also wanting to go get a luxury vehicle when you're not even paying off your first car loan. Why would you get a second? And we got another comment from you guys here. It all catches up with you eventually. My cousin kept opening up credit cards and loans until the offers stopped coming. Now she's screwed. And that's what a lot of people are realizing right now with their student loans.
So is everyone lying about not paying their student loans back? Because why did my credit score just go down 127 points? With student loan repayments being delayed, I kind of forgot about it until I got this notification about my credit score dropping. There's absolutely no way that all of you have allowed for your credit scores to drop this low and don't care. Like, what are we doing? Are we repaying them? What is happening?
And I've seen the apparent solution to this problem with the credit score hit is you should just enroll into school for the rest of your life. Then you don't have to pay it off.
I've decided that I'm never going to pay back my student loans, and this is how I'm going to finesse them. I'm currently getting a doctoral degree, and I'll be milking those student loan refund checks throughout the process, while, of course, doing the work authentically. However, upon graduation in about 2.5 years, I'm going to continue to go to college for the rest of my life. This isn't a new secret. However, I'm going to pay out of pocket 2 classes a semester, 6 credits in a degree-seeking program, at least 2 semesters a year. That'll be about $2,000 max, including books. And then I'll get a lifetime learner's credit of $1,000 on my tax return. So my net payment is only $1,000. And I will continue to get associate's degrees. And just, keep learning.
Okay, so with that logic, does that mean you're going to have a full-time job while also going to school part-time? Because say if you just enrolled in these classes and then failed out just so you could keep saying that you're a student, you would eventually get kicked out of these schools. So you have to do enough to be able to get a decent GPA, but people are massively overworked already. You're going to be going to school part-time until you die at 85? I highly doubt that. And I'd like to add that we have no idea what could happen in the future. Maybe this is a loophole right now. If anything changes with the law or the rules in the future, you could get stuck with an absolutely massive bill because you've been going to school for the past 10, 15 years technically. Then your life would be in absolute shambles. But to finish off this video, I have an example here that hits very close to home because I had to deal with this when I got my first cell phone.
I am going on year 12 of a never-ending war with the person who owned my phone number before me. I only know 2 things about them. Their name is Amberus, and that they have a truly insane amount of debt that they are being collected on. Amberus keeps providing their old cell phone number, which is now my number, whenever they open a new account or a new line of credit. And I know this because they have switched internet service providers at least twice now and currently owe Spectrum over $1,000, according to the collections agency that has called me 6 different times from 4 different numbers, no matter how many times I tell them that this is not her number or I outright block the number they called from.
I hate Noelle. 10 years and counting. accounting. This happened to me. After years, I started answering with, I'm not gonna pay, come get my stuff. Same thing happened to me too, me versus my girl Tammy. For me, I was in 6th grade and I got a Nokia brick phone, and Daphne, the woman who had my phone number before me, decided to just not pay anything off. So I was getting calls left and right as an 11-year-old not knowing anything about what's happening. So yeah, I just wanted to put that in because I thought it was funny. I had the exact same experience when I was a kid, but that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.